You would probably know the world's richest man. Yes, you guessed it right, Elon Musk. Mr. Musk has been in the good books of US government for a long time, but the tides seem to change now, as Mr. Musk has stuck his head in some of the world's most controversial issues. We will be discussing 3 reasons why US government may assassinate Elon Musk. Starting off with the world's most hot issue nowadays, Elon Musk has offered a peace plan for Russia and Ukraine that outraged Ukrainian officials and the US government. Secondly, he has posted a tweet about Iranian internet access that exposed government protesters to a phishing scheme. He has also suggested in a newspaper interview that China could be appeased if it were given partial control of Taiwan. An official in Taipei demanded that he retract his suggestion. These 3 moves by Elon Musk have made him a controversial figure and earned him the wrath of the world's most powerful country, the United States of America. Before proceeding to the 3 reasons, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for more such videos. Number 1. Elon Musk's shifting stance on Ukraine conflict. Late last month, Mr. Musk attended a private event in Aspen called The Weekend. Organized partly by the former Google chief executive and government advisor Eric Schmidt, the event brought together American business and political leaders, including Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, former Vice President Al Gore, and the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Joseph Dunford. At lunchtime, under a tent on a golf course, Mr. Musk took the stage for a sweeping conversation with the billionaire businessman David Rubenstein, according to 2 people who attended the event and spoke on the condition of anonymity. At the end of the conversation, to the surprise of many in attendance, Mr. Musk proposed a peace plan for the war in Ukraine that would allow Russia to annex Ukrainian land, seeming to align himself with the Kremlin. He proposed that Ukraine should permanently cede ownership of the Crimean Peninsula, a territory that Russia took by force in 2014. The idea outraged many at the event, according to attendees. The next day, Jake Sullivan, the national security advisor to President Biden, gave a video talk at the event, and a questioner raised the issue of Mr. Musk's peace plan. Mr. Sullivan did not comment on Mr. Musk's remarks at the event, according to a National Security Council spokesperson. Nonetheless, Mr. Musk revealed his plan 10 days later on Twitter. The Kremlin publicly supported the idea. President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine and his top aides fiercely rebuked Mr. Musk's plan. Moreover, in mid-September, as the army advanced into southern territories previously occupied by Russia, it lost access to Starlink in some areas near the front lines. It was proposed that this was because Mr. Musk had jeopardized the service so that it was available only in certain areas. It was not clear why the satellite system was not working, and others in Ukraine reported that it was working fine. Mr. Musk has discussed the matter with both the Ukrainian government and the US government in an effort to determine the locations where the army will have access to Starlink, according to the people. This month, Mr. Musk delivered more uncertainty to Ukraine when he said he could not keep paying for Starlink service to the country, making it seem like he was shouldering the expense. In fact, the United States, Britain, and Poland have paid SpaceX for at least part of the Starlink cost, according to a document outlining the expenditures reviewed by the New York Times. This shifting position of Elon Musk towards Ukraine conflict has made the US uncomfortable, and he is being criticized heavily for his contentious remarks. Number 2. Mr. Musk's irresponsible tweet about Iranian internet access. As protests spread across Iran last few weeks and the authorities respond by blocking internet access in some areas, Elon Musk appeared to come to the rescue. Activating Starlink, he said in a Twitter message after the US government lifted some sanctions that limited the ability of American tech companies to operate in Iran so that they could aid protesters. Starlink offered the potential to bypass the government's blockade of land-based internet connections that had taken Iranians in many cities offline and provided satellite-based internet Starlink in Iran. But as many Iranians soon learned, Mr. Musk's promise did not hold up. Left unsaid by Mr. Musk was any context on what was needed to get Starlink up and running, how long it would take, and why Iranian government restrictions would make it nearly impossible to offer the service widely inside Iran, while Starlink remained unavailable in Iran. Hackers believed to have links to the government began a phishing campaign, sending messages inside social media channels, with links claiming to provide access to Starlink, according to Amor Rashidi, a digital rights expert from Iran, rather than providing access to Mr. Musk's satellite system. The links were malware that gobbled up information from the users' phones, said Mr. Rashidi, who analyzed at least 5 versions of the malware. Mr. Rashidi, who fled the country in 2009, commended Mr. Musk for trying to help but said his tactics were very irresponsible. Number 3. Elon Musk pro-China stance in Taiwan issue. Musk also recently stepped into perhaps the world's most delicate geopolitical hotspot, Taiwan. His views on Taiwan issue are not in line with the U.S. interests as they favor China. He proposed giving control over China to the Chinese government. Tensions between China and Taiwan pose major risks to Musk's business empire. Tesla operates a manufacturing facility in Shanghai that produces as much as 50% of the company's new cars. The Beijing government tightly controls how Western companies operate in the country, and observers have long worried about how Tesla's dependence on China could affect Mr. Musk's political positions. This month, Mr. Musk confirmed that he faced pressure from Beijing when he told the Financial Times that the Chinese government had made it clear that it disapproved of his offering Starlink internet service in Ukraine. Beijing sought assurances, he said, that he would not offer the service in China. Then he offered a way of easing the tensions by suggesting handing over some control of Taiwan to China. The comment, which breaks sharply with the policy of the United States and its allies, drew swift rebukes from Taiwanese politicians. In a phone interview with the New York Times, Chiao Tin-lin, a member of the Democratic Progressive Party and the Taiwanese legislature's Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee, called on Mr. Musk to retract his statement. If he does not, I will sincerely advise not just Taiwan, but all consumers in liberal democratic countries to boycott Tesla and its related products, he said. Some have pointed out that if a military conflict breaks out between the two countries, the Taiwanese, like the Ukrainians, may call on Mr. Musk to provide an emergency means of communication with satellite internet. But given Mr. Musk's public stance on the situation and links to China, Starlink may not be a viable option. Mr. Musk has in recent months emerged as a new chaotic actor on the stage of global politics. While plenty of billionaire executives like to tweet their 2 cents on world affairs, none can come close to Mr. Musk's influence and ability to cause trouble. He is immensely popular due to his electric car company Tesla, his rocket company, SpaceX, which runs the Starlink satellite network, and of course his title of being the richest man in the world. These were the 3 reasons why Elon Musk may end up being assassinated for maintaining a controversial stance on issues very important for the US government. Do subscribe to our channel to stay updated.